And let's see if we can make it longer than 5 minutes without dying. Excellent connection, it says.
Another thing, before I lose my train of thought, which I don't need to see this on stream, is that another reason why I think the campaign map would be beneficial is mostly also for you, Neff, because I think your supporter base will go up quite a bit
Yeah,
if you work.
I see what you're saying.
Honestly, I think a lot of people want the campaign story, but I think like the replayability of a campaign map and just the excitement of having that back from Hyrule Total War is such a big pull.
I just don't know how long I can go without animating cinematics before I jump off a building. If
Just
you know what I
you can
mean.
animate you can animate cinematics like the Total War ones, when you do stuff.
It's not the same.
Random chic assassin kills Hyrule noble.
It's not the same.
But the
I was
with
already pretty depressed like a month or two ago when I'm like, I really want to animate like the Aghanim stuff and I can't because I have like fucking several years of work with getting things working in the engine and adding factions and stuff. So the idea of not doing that for potentially many years honestly makes me incredibly depressed.
I mean, I'm not depressed, but
Well, you're not the one who's like trying to do the cinematics,
no,
so good.
but I share the sentiment though, because I am engaged in the story, right? And I want to
Yeah.
see the work, I want to see the script, and all that stuff is stuff that I like too. So I understand, but I'm also thinking about what makes sense for you, how much supporter base you can get, and all that other stuff, right? That's
Yeah.
also what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah, I know. I mean, I
Yeah,
could.
here's the
I'll
thing.
honestly,
Well,
if it comes to that, I'll probably just do what I was doing over the last several years. I'll just go back and forth. I'll just vanish for like 3 months at a time and work on a cinematic, and then come back and do something else for 3 months, and then just go back and forth like I was.
what are you advocating for? You do want to see missions with cinematics. You're
Yeah,
more pro cinem.
yeah, I'm
Okay,
more in favor of that than anything else. But I want a campaign map too.
that's the thing. I when we did the last mission, I realized how much work goes into every mission
Yep.
for the most part. And now that I've done one mission, it's going to be a lot faster to do the next one for me personally. But every mission takes a considerable amount of time, and it doesn't have as much replayability as a world map would have. And I think
I
world map
agree with you there.
would get a lot, and the world map has a lot more hype behind it.
Well,
And we want
let's
to go
let's
we want
finish
to go back. What?
let's finish getting all the factions in, and then we can decide from there because we still need all the factions in before we could even do a campaign map anyway. So and
ideally,
all the mechanics and stuff too.
Debatable.
ideally, the workflow. I imagine the ideal workflow would be, you know, you make a draft for how the mission is going to play out. You XO Ascaris, you guys work on that, the technical side of things, and then then at that during that time, if you have time to animate what you need to animate, and we also have time to edit scripts and dialogue and all that other jazz, right? That is the
Yeah.
ideal workflow. I feel would be like, so by the time everything comes together, we're sort of around the same pace, right?
Yeah.
The question is that going to happen though?
Uh,
Let's get all the mechanics and factions in first.
Yeah.
well, the factions are not going to be balanced for a while.
Probably not,
Um,
but if they're in the
and
game, that's still a pretty big step to yeah. If they're actually
I'm, I
there.
hope I hope you will really stay in close contact with Odysseus with regards to the
I
newer
mean,
faction.
I might be calling him tomorrow or Tuesday, so we just finished Ordana the other day.
Wait, you did?
Yeah. On
Okay.
Tuesday, I think Tuesday
Wait,
last week.
Ordana? That's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? Because has Odysseus even touched the Goma?
Yeah, him and I did the Goma like the week before, and then we've been getting like a faction done about every week, give or take.
Okay. Well, I'm really happy that I've seen quite a few changes in on the GitHub from Odysseus. So with that in mind, I think we are really, getting somewhere. But
Yeah.
the AI is doing really well at the moment. But I'm kind of in the same position that you always are in, Neff. It's like a week ago, or no, maybe a week ago is a bit of a stretch, but a few days ago, I thought, yeah, the AI is now in the perfect place, where it needs to be. And I checked the Hylian AI over the past 2 days, and it's like, shit, I have to rework all of this stuff again, because as it stands right now, the Hylian AI can't beat the Gerudo AI. There's just no way. They just can't. And then I figured to make those Hylians more optimized, I have to adapt multiple systems so it's even more efficient, to even give them a chance to, at least be somewhat on par with the Gerudo. But I mean, they will never really beat them in a 1v1. Anyway, where was I even going with this? I was going with this somewhere.
I don't know. There's already a
Yeah,
lot of
I was just
questions in the chat though. But I'll
whatever.
let you
I'll
finish what you're thinking.
I'll get back to it later. I'll have to get my train of thought back.
Alrighty, I'll try and answer some of these questions before the stream starts zooming by and I can't see things. So someone asks, what are the Lost Gorons going to be like in lore and gameplay wise? I guess the simplest way I can put it is they're kind of evil Gorons. It's probably the best way I could describe them. I don't know if evil is the word I'd use, but they're more connected to the underground than the normal Gorons. They're more connected to lava. Savage Gorons, yeah. They're connected to magtails and things like that. Yeah. So, let's see, Matthew Burton asked, so question from a previous stream, you've mentioned in the past about changing Icona. What's the score with that? And has Labrina's lore changed in the midst of all the other changes? Icona and the Cobble Kingdom are probably connected now. That's kind of the thing. Well, geographically, Icona is off on the side of the map now. I guess that changed too. And
they're probably humanoid, right?
Yeah, they're probably. Well, I mean, they technically were humanoid originally. Humanoid's a pretty broad category, but they're probably not so. They're probably not like mountain goat people anymore.
Did we also play kind of with the idea that the Gerudo might be like partially descended from Ikana or the Cobble?
I think you mentioned that actually. I don't think I actually decided on that though. It makes sense though, because the Gerudo Desert's so connected to the undead. So I'll think about that. I won't say anything for certain now, but as far as Labrina goes, I think I'm just getting rid of Labrina's tanks because they don't fit at all. They just don't. I'm sorry. I know tanks are cool, but they just don't fit in Hyrule. Let's see, what other questions did I miss? Would a 080 campaign map show topography and water like Medieval 2? Yes, it would. I started working on it on a campaign map like, I want to say over a year ago, but I only did bits of it, and now I have to restart it because I redid the map. But it would show all the terrain. You'd see the mountains and the forests and the rivers and water and everything. It wouldn't be a flat topographical map. Although I wouldn't mind, kind of like an Endless Legend, I wouldn't mind, like, if you zoom the map out, it replaces it with, like, the hand-drawn topographical map. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Kind of like an Endless Legend. When you zoom out, it, like, replaces the terrain with, like, a hand-drawn map. It's pretty cool. Alright, I think that was the last few questions. I know some questions probably were lost in the other stream before the internet exploded on me. Matthew Burton's asking who the Cobble Kingdom even are. The Cobble Kingdom was from Phantom Hourglass. They were a bunch of undead ghosts that lived in a land that was completely dead, and they built really tall tower things with stone. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's basically the description of Icona, too. Except the Cobble Kingdom lived on islands. They didn't really live in a valley. I guess that's a difference. The Cobble Kingdom is obviously a little more aesthetically Egyptian than Icona, too. Icona is a little harder to place aesthetically, but let's see, when will we see the older missions being redone? Will it be as soon as all the factions involved in those missions are completed? I don't know when we'll be getting back to the missions. We're actually just discussing that as I try to reconnect the stream. Seems like
Well,
yeah, Exo. I don't know if you want to talk now or not.
well, the thing is, I have okay. So my current roadmap is to finish the few AI things that I was working on for the past few weeks, mostly Hylia and Gerudo, and I was thinking about either going to Zora or Goron. I believe I touched upon this in the video. And after that, I want to fix a very important battalion movement problem that I found again, which hopefully is going to fix all the things. But the question was about campaign map, right?
The missions with all the animations and stuff. Basically what I was crying about before we got the stream to work again.
Yeah, well, first we'll probably see hero abilities.
Yeah.
With Ascaris and stuff, and then...
That's what he wants to do next anyway.
Yeah. And then...
My kind of general roadmap is... I want to get all the factions into the game and all the actual gameplay mechanics done, and then we go from there. That's kind of my thinking about it.
I am not really optimistic. I'm not really optimistic. I haven't finished my sentence.
Oh, finish your sentence.
I am not really how would I say this?
I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I can't help you.
Well, I don't think that looking at missions right now is a very good idea.
I agree. I agree right now. Yeah.
It's not very optimal for the mod. The mod needs a lot of polish and stuff in certain areas, and yeah, like Neff said, he wants all of the factions, and Ascaris wants hero abilities, and we want a world map, and we want a lot of stuff. We want a working AI. We want the battalion movement to actually work. So that all comes first before we look at missions again. Like last time, I was really optimistic about doing a mission. And I was really motivated to do one. Just to
and then you asked me to do it, and I spent 3 months building a city.
Yeah, and now it doesn't work anymore.
Because we added battalions.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe I might want to go after I finish those 3 AIs and I finish that battalion movement thingy. I might want to go back to that mission and see if I can get it to work again.
I would hold off on that because the mission's probably going to change a bit anyway when I do finally get back. Yeah, probably gonna change a little bit.
Okay.
Because Zelda's mother's no longer alive in that time, so.
All right.
So there's probably gonna be tweaks.
Keep the map.
Yeah, the map. I don't think the map will change, but there might be a few things that'll change about it. But
Well, that's the thing. I don't.
I saw like a question in the chat that. Full Metal American asks, when are you creating the melted ice cream faction? I don't know, guys. When are we going to do the Guardians? Well, it seems like I brought everything to a halt. But anyway, what were you saying, Exo?
I don't even remember.
Did I knock it out of your mind?
Yeah, I was like, you were talking about melted ice cream. It's like, how do we get melted ice cream? No, I might just want to see if I can, how long it will take me to get the mission to work in its current state, because we did put quite a bit of time in it.
Sure, so... if you want to, as the mission is now, if you want to try and get it to work, feel free. Just just make a mental note that some things will probably
Maybe,
change when we finally
yeah.
get around to missions again. Which
It's,
probably
I'll
won't be for
try-
several years anyway, so...
I'll actually try to put in difficulty as well at that time, because it was a really difficult mission.
I know.
In all fairness,
it took me forever to beat it.
So,
I feel Exo feeds off people struggling to play his shit. I feel.
I actually I tried to finish the mission as well. I tried to finish the mission myself, and I had a super hard time.
It was a very difficult mission. Impa's just really hard to beat. She attacks way too early, I think.
I remember when people were crying about the Lanera map, and you're just sitting there like, yeah, it's not that difficult.
No, the Lanera map isn't that hard. That one was people crying. It's not hard.
A lot of people thought it was.
Well, they need to build faster. that one level's not hard.
If you're a newer player to Iroh Conquest and you start because nothing says there's a script, right? So you just start with Coast of Eru as a new player, and you're like, oh, what is this faction? Oh, that's cute. Oh, there's some, with the La Salvas, they're flying around, and then out of nowhere, all these scorpions come towards your base. You're like, what the hell is this?
Get good.
Is this the enemy? No, you get. That's the thing.
The scorpions to me are just they're just free food.
that if you know how to exploit it, then you can mostly let your town center do the work for you.
Play as Gorons. Bomb the scorpions with the Gorons.
Yeah, I mean, if you play as Gorons, you can really easily deal with the scorpions. But Gorons actually crash multiplayer, so...
Did you figure out why they do that?
I haven't even looked at it because I was working on other things.
Yeah, they haven't crashed for... Well, I haven't played multiplayer recently, but... My guess it would be tied to the AI in some way, except I think their AI is disabled right now, so probably not. I don't know.
Oh, another thing I've been thinking about. I'm not sure if this will please you or not, Neff.
Ooh, go ahead. I think I know what you're gonna bring up.
Is after I am happy with
here it comes.
AI is this Zora. I might want to do Zora first, or after the battalions, but I might want to go back and look at something regarding camouflage.
Yeah! Finally!
Might keyword, by the way.
Might. If he's in the mood and I appease him.
Appease him.
Build a little shrine to Exo. No, I'm just kidding. I've actually talked about it with Odysseus. I don't know if he's talked about it to you, but we do.
Odysseus has been pestering me a little bit
about
because
stealth.
I was.
Listen.
Huh?
Tell me.
Here's the deal,
Come
okay?
on.
You put in stealth, and I'll ship you some. I'll ship you some cookies.
The chocolate cookies.
Yeah. I can.
Deox is gonna bribe stealth into the engine, which is funny because the Sheikah might have the ability to bribe enemy units to see them.
You get cookies. That's how that's how it works.
I was gonna make I had stealth working to some degree. It wasn't really properly tested yet, so at least I have some working version of stealth. But it's like I said, it still needs some work. And when I'm happy with that, I'm gonna, hold it back.
There's Odysseus in the chat.
I'm gonna hold stealth back until I get some killing animations from you.
Okay, that is a fair trade. That's a fair trade. I make some killing I won't send you the killing animations though. I'll send you.
Hold them back.
I'll do them. I'll show you footage of the killing animations, but I won't actually put them. I won't send them to you until you show me working stealth, and then we'll trade.
Yeah. I actually had those cookies the other day. I remember they're really delicious.
Yeah, Yeah, they're really those are really good.
I guess
features.
after I finish updating some of the Gerudo models, I guess I'll have to do some killing animations.
Yeah, well, it will take some time before I get back to the stealth, or well, like it depends. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to fix that those two things. Yeah, so
I
it's not gonna
guess
be for this patch. That's one thing for sure. So, but this patch we've been talking about the patch, right? Like this probably somewhere this week. We probably want to get that patch out.
hopefully by next weekend. I was just trying to finish updating all of the Hylian and the Gerudo hero models. I finished all the Hylian ones. I just finished Raru last night. Obviously based on the thumbnail, I finished Link and all of his versions. So I was trying to finish the Gerudo ones, but I don't think I'll have all the Gerudo ones updated by next week. Maybe one of them, Nabooru or Ganondorf, depending on my mood. But yeah, I guess I'll go back and I see a few more questions. Have I seen Infinity Train? I've never heard of Infinity Train. So I can't really answer that. Will the first mission still be Akala versus Sulcaris? Actually, I think Deox and I talked about that before his 3-month sabbatical to somewhere. I was considering actually switching it around and making it Ganon versus King Gustav, but I think we ended up flipping it back around to also being Sulcaris versus Gustav. I'm gonna say I'm not sure. The first
we went back and forth.
Yeah, I went back and forth on that idea. I guess I let slip that Ganon's probably a lot more ancient than he was in the old canon by saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
He got buffed.
He got buffed. Hey, Undying Nephilim, when is everything done? I suspect I won't finish everything in my lifetime, so there'll always be something to do, probably. And yeah. I think I've answered all of the questions people have asked so far. Let me go back and double check. Yeah, I think that's all the questions people have asked. I know there were some in the old stream before it died, but those people, I can't see those questions. So guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Otherwise, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we start wrapping it up if there's no more questions?
Yeah,
We've almost made it to 2 hours.
Yeah, unless you guys want to talk about something else, then.
I'm sure there is things I want to talk about, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I feel the same, but I might just be tired.
Yeah. Are you going to use more Impa models, or will there always be one? I mean, all the characters are going to have multiple appearances, if that's what you mean. Like different outfits. Like Impa will have several different outfits that she has depending on what time in the game it is. Yeah, I think that's what you mean. Let's see. Someone's asking, where is Clocktown in the new map? Clocktown is abstract at the moment. It might not be. DX and I briefly talked about Clocktown a while ago. We also talked about Lon Lon Ranch too.
I still really like that idea. I'm not going to go into it, but I still really like that idea we came up with for it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, but I really like
yeah, I haven't decided on that idea, but we have talked about Clocktown's actual geographic location in the last few months. It just hasn't really been decided on yet. See, will there be a mode similar to the Freeform campaign from Hyrule Total War? Yes. That's Exo and I were arguing before the stream died if that should be done first or the missions. There will be eventually. Ascaris really wants to make that. Actually, that's the thing he's looking forward to the most, I think, is the freeform campaign, I guess we can call it that.
Well, everyone has been kind of hoping for that to return since the day you left Medieval Total War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think honestly, I think that's the future that's probably the most wanted future, actually.
Oh, that person specified with Empa, he meant her different incarnations, as in like an old and a young Impa. That's actually something we were gonna live stream like what, 8 months ago. We never got around to it.
Yeah.
Whether there's multiple Impas or not. I think I even still have the thumbnail for that floating around.
Yeah, I want to go back to that off screen to refresh the ideas I had for that, what we discussed, and then we could bring it up again.
We'll talk about Impa in another stream, I guess.
Yeah, I'm alive again, so
maybe next Saturday if things work out.
Yeah, wouldn't be opposed to that.
When is Link retrieving the Master Sword, and can you make Zelda become a queen? He gets the Master Sword basically right away in new Nephi canon. almost right away. As far as Zelda becoming queen, yeah, she becomes a queen. Eventually.
Eventually.
Let's see, I was having trouble locating Spectacle Rock. If you mean on my new map, it's in the Death Mountain crater, where it was in Ocarina of Time. Let's see, did I miss any? I think that's all the questions. I guess someone's pointing out how creepy Link and Zelda's relationship is. I mean, they're the same age. Oh, I think he's like a year older than her. I don't really think it's that creepy.
What is creepy about there? This person has probably never read any fan fiction.
Well, or I don't know. Maybe I wasn't clear on the ages, I guess. But Link and Zelda are basically the same age in Nephi canon. I think if I remember right, he's a year older than her.
Yeah.
If anything, the creepier relationship is Saria and Link, because Saria is like super old, and he's not.
Zelda wasn't conscious in her stasis. She might have had dreams, but she wasn't conscious, right?
No.
Like her state of mind was in stasis too.
Yeah. Well, if I remember I mean, I need to go back and probably go over the dialogue draft, but if I remember right, when she's being asked, she's like, it seemed like forever, and yet like just yesterday before this all happened. There's like no sense of time at all while she's gone.
I'm not gonna go into it, but yeah, it's not pedophilia. So I'm just gonna say that outright. That's literally not the definition for it.
Yeah.
That kind of tilts me. Like, what makes a relationship like that troublesome is the power dynamic, and there's no power dynamic if people are mentally and biologically the same age, besides social status. But at that point, they actually have the same social status, because she's no longer technically a princess.
Yeah, she's technically lost. Yeah, I mean, she gets her quote unquote social status back after Ognim gets overthrown,
and
then she loses it again.
They're in terms of social status, they're actually more equal in the new canon than they were previously.
Yeah.
So, because they're both lost heirs.
Yeah, now they're technically both lost heirs now. That's kind of funny. I like how that worked out. Someone actually asked a question that someone asked, is Fi's, or Fi's, however you want to pronounce it, is Fi's backstory the same as the one before the reboot? We were just talking about Fi last night, actually.
Yeah.
Should we keep that under wraps or go public with some of the ideas? Or... Huh?
Maybe keep it under wraps for a bit more. I feel like we can discuss it a bit more. I mean, that's an entire topic of its own, I feel.
Yeah, well, part of the problem with Fi is I've been really schizophrenic on what exactly to do with Fi, because I hate Fi. I've been going back and forth on like a bunch of different possibilities on what the hell Fee actually is. And I think we decided on something last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's several ideas.
Someone's asking, why do Girahim and Demise look more like Hylians than Moblins? Well, probably because the Hylians are portraying them. Probably.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Let's see. Why were the Wizrobes demoted? There's several reasons. The main one is when I rebooted everything and I kind of worked on the cosmology and like the storyline and stuff, they actually kind of have less involvement than they used to. And I'm not sure a faction of all mages would really work out. I mean, there's probably a way I could do it, but I think in terms of gameplay, they're probably not too interesting. They'll either end up being underpowered because they're a one-trick pony. They all have their armies entirely mages, or they'll be overpowered because their armies entirely mages. Obviously, there's ways to fix that, but I think functionally they'd probably be better if they're a minor faction that you can conquer, and then you get access to a few mages when you absorb them. So that's kind of the thinking behind why the Wizrobes got demoted. Let's see. Yeah. Will you give any of the factions the A Link to the Past concept art Mexican look? I know the images you're talking about, actually. Maybe some Ordanians. Funnily enough, none of the characters in A Link to the Past had that style of clothing at all. So I think that was a Nintendo of America thing where they just did whatever the hell they wanted without any oversight. Someone's asking me if I've seen Infinity Train. I think I answered that earlier. I've never heard of Infinity Train.
If I'm not wrong, it's an anime movie.
I honestly don't watch anime.
What?
You know I don't watch anime, EXO.
Another reaction, though.
What? Every anime I've tried to watch over the last few years, within minutes, I'm just like, this is garbage, and I just stop.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is not very good.
The last,
but of course, that's all subjective.
The last anime series I sat down and watched was Salty Roy, like almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the last anime I consciously set out, like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. Over the years, I've occasionally tried to. I mean, I've seen anime movies since then, mostly Miyazaki stuff. But I don't like anime. There's something about a lot of anime that I fundamentally just don't like. There's something I haven't really been able to articulate it. It's just, it doesn't feel like anime is about actual real human beings at all. They all feel like weird aliens. I know, cultural dissonance, yeah. I have blamed it on the fact that the Japanese are just too alien compared. But the thing is, there's lots of Japanese media that I watch that I like. Like, Godzilla is one of my favorite things ever. And Godzilla's weird, but, like, Shin Godzilla was awesome. Even though it got a little bit, I feel like that movie was a bit too long, but I really like Shin Godzilla. That's a pretty modern Japanese movie. So I don't want to just blame it on Japanese culture as to why I don't like anime, because there's a lot of Japanese things I do like. Just not anime.
About a Western cartoon.
What?
They were talking about a Western cartoon. There's another movie called Infinity Train at the moment, so.
Oh.
I was assuming because it's selling a shit ton, so it's the big new thing people are talking about.
In fact, one of the reasons I don't like Breath of the Wild is it feels like a goddamn anime. And I don't just mean like aesthetically. I mean like the feeling of it. Like, one of the scenes in an okay, so there's an now I'm babbling. If you've seen Hellsing Ultimate, there's a perfect example in that of why I don't like anime. Or most animes anyway. There's a scene in Hellsing Ultimate when the Nazi vampires are like discussing their plot to like take over the world, and like the scene's all like really kind of serious, and you know they're planning on what to do to take over the world, and then all of a sudden a cat boy just walks into the room and is like dancing around and goofing off and like ruining everything, and it just completely ruins the whole scene. Like that kind of thing is in anime like everywhere. And it just it instantly ruins it for me.
I personally really despise when you have these dramatic stories and then they try to put in comedic relief.
Exactly. It's like they don't understand like tone at all. And Breath of the Wild is guilty of the same thing. I will always point out the frog scene. That's like the exact same concept. Like there's like this moment between these two characters, and then all of a sudden, oh, she's so quirky and wacky, and it's like, it's retarded.
But there's a lot of stuff out there that doesn't have this to that, you know, to that degree.
And it's usually Miyazaki movies that don't, which is why I generally like Miyazaki films.
I don't like Miyazaki.
You don't like Miyazaki films?
Well, I like a few of them, but I think
There's some I don't like. I don't really like Ponyo that much. Because Ponyo's fucking wacky.
I don't like Totoro, I'm just gonna say it. It's a bad movie.
I've actually never seen that one.
I like Spirited Away. I think Spirited Away is pretty good. But, I like, they're not bad movies. I'm not gonna say they're bad. I don't think they're as good as people like hype them up to be, and there are certainly way better movies out there that no one has heard about that I think people should watch rather than rather than just praising Miyazaki as the kind of pinnacle of Japanese animation. There's a lot of stuff out there that's way better. I feel that doesn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
I'm not. I like
on.
a few of them. I like a few of them, but I think overall it's not that great. And the guy is a cock.
That's anime was a mistake.
Which movie are you talking about?
No, I like Miyazaki films in general. Like I
don't. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of most of them. Like a few of them I do like, but I actually do think they're really overrated.
I do kind of like Miyazaki as a person because he is like just a complete boomer like douchebag.
Yeah, in that way it's funny.
I love that one. There's this one thing I saw a few years ago where like these students, I don't know if they were students or they were like part of his company, but they came up with like some program that can artificially do like 3D animation, like for zombies and monsters and stuff or whatever, and they're showing their thing to him, and like he's just sitting there in like silence for like a minute, and then he's like, I know someone who's a paraplegic who can't use his arms and legs, and this dishonors his legacy. And like he's just going off about how their thing like dishonored his like crippled friend or whatever, and he's like, this is monstrous, and like no, he just like destroys their technology, and they're just like utterly crushed by him.
Did you know that he walked out on the premiere of his son's movie?
Oh, that one. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
He actually.
That's amazing.
In middle of the screening, he walked out of the cinema and he took.
He took a smoke, right?
Yeah. And they asked like, why did you leave? And he's like, yeah, my son hasn't grown up. I'm like, holy shit.
That's amazing.
Holy crap, this guy's an asshole.
That is amazing. I haven't heard of that yet.
Like, I don't think. Like that movie was Tales from it's the fucking Earthsea movie. Like I don't think that was a good movie, but still. Ironically though, my favorite Ghibli film is the one made by his son. So I guess that says something.
Which one is that?
It's the I don't remember what it's called in English. It's the Poppy Hill one.
Not The Wind Rises.
Let's see.
I don't know. I still haven't seen The Wind Rises, which I probably should.
I Yeah, from Up on Poppy Hill.
I've never heard of
It's
that
called in
one.
English.
Maybe I'll check it out to see why his father hates him. His son still hasn't grown. The funny thing is, he's probably right. His son probably hasn't grown up. I mean, I don't know, but just look at the state of the world right now. No one's growing up. But anyway, that's a wonderful story. Miyazaki, keep being a boomer douchebag, please.
I never remember what the hell their movies are called in English because they changed the names. It's like weird. Like yeah, like Earthsea wasn't that great. I mean, I don't think it's a very bad. It's not like a bad movie. It's just kind of meh.
Well,
My
now
son
that we're
hasn't
talking
grown
about,
up.
now that we're talking about anime movies, I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but
Yeah, we went on a huge tangent, but I don't care at this point.
but okay, so there are two movies that a lot of people are, you know, in the anime community are really, you know, these are one of the best movies out there, which is Kimi no Nawa. I'm not sure if you're familiar
yeah.
with, and
Yeah.
Koe no Katachi. I'm
Yeah.
personally more a fan of Koe no Katachi, the one with the blind, or it's the deaf girl, right? That girl's
girl.
deaf.
It's called Shape. I think they translated the Shape of Voice or something in English.
Yeah.
I like the movie.
I personally really like that movie, but honestly, I thought they could have done a little bit more.
The problem is it's unfinished. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, it feels like they should have. It feels like it ended in the middle of the. To me, it did.
It's an incomplete. Like the movie is an incomplete story. You have to go and read the manga to get the full thing, and even then, the ending in the manga is not that great, to be honest, which is kind of a letdown.
But here's the thing, right? The protagonist is a bully at the very start, but you really start to like him, like later on. Like he really tries to, you know, be a better person.
It's a very human movie. I quite like it because I think the characters are written really well. Again, a huge issue I have with the movie though is that I feel it's very like it completes one arc, but not the overarching story, which is it's understandable, right? Because they didn't end it where the manga ends. Then again, I don't think that would have been. I'm not sure if that would have been the better. I'm not sure if that would be a good thing because I don't think the manga ending was that great either. So, yikes.
Well, there's one movie when you guys start talking about this, which is not on the most popular list, but it's a relatively recent movie, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it. But that is the first time. Okay, I have to be accurate about this. This is the first time I ever cried on an anime, and I've watched like I've watched like 400, way more. I think I've watched around 600 different anime shows over my lifetime, like a lot, and it's gotten a lot less over the past 5 to 6 years. I've just skipped a lot of the mainstream stuff, but I can't remember what the name of the movie is. It's maybe you've seen it. It's about these kind of elvish people. I get they're not really elves.
Elfin lied?
No, it's not Elfenlied.
Well, the reason I'm thinking that is because there's a lot of people who told me that made them cry. So.
No, that's an older. It's a TV show. That's not or that's a regular.
I remember Elfenlied or however it's pronounced back in the day.
No, it's about this girl who she lives among different people who have like long blonde hair and stuff, and they have this kind of Eden where they all live, and then all of a sudden a dragon appears, and you know.
I see where. I already like the symbolism.
And then this sheltered
garden
girl
in a
pretty
snake.
much. She's thrown outside of her little Eden, and then
Perfect.
she finds this camp where people were killed, and then there's a mother there who is clutching her baby. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean it's the very start of the movie. This is just the intro, and then this girl finds this baby, and she then takes it and she basically raises it as her own. It's a very, very touching movie.
Get me the name of that, because based on what you're describing already, it sounds like it's already got a wonderful symbolic structure.
Yeah, it's. I think the ending. There were two points in the movie where I watched it, and I was the first point after I saw that scene. I was actually grabbing a tissue and had a single tear. I was like, shit, that was a strong scene. And then the very ending, I actually had to step away from my screen because I thought I was gonna, bawl my eyes out at the end.
Get the
And
name
it's
of
like,
that one for
I
me.
never,
I was
I
sold
never
on
expected-
Paradise and Dragon.
Is it? Are you talking about Sayonara no Asani?
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Sayonara.
Yeah.
What's
But
the
I
English
always
translation?
found it. I always found it on a different name. I just. Oh
What
yeah,
the fuck
I
is it
always called
called
them
in
Makia.
English?
I just call it
When-
Makia.
Oh yeah. Let
Go on.
me look it up. What it's called in English? I don't know.
For people who are watching this, and even if you're not anime fans, this is an absolutely amazing movie.
I
gave it-
mean,
I gave it
I hate
a-
anime, and just based on a small description, I'm probably gonna try it out sometime in the next few days.
Yeah, it's called in English When the Promised Flower Blooms.
Never heard of it. When the promised flower blooms.
I heard later it is written by this female writer who is known for making these kind of movies or these kind of stories, maybe.
Well, it looks like an anime, all right. I'll give it a shot, but I won't be surprised if I'm ready to bail out after 20 minutes. Anyway, I think there's quite a few questions that were fired off while we went on our anime tangent.
Yeah.
Oh, let me scroll back
Sorry
up.
about that.
No, that's okay. I didn't mind that tangent, honestly. I'm pretty sure that tangent started from a question, but I don't remember what it was. I think we were talking about cultural dissonance, and I'm like, I don't think it's. I want to blame it on just Japanese culture, because there's a lot of other Japanese
I think
things
you're just
I
seeing
like.
shit anime, to be honest.
What?
I think you're just seeing shit anime. to be
Man,
honest.
honestly,
maybe, yeah. Well, yeah.
Go.
That Hell
Okay.
thing
the
is
most-
really bad. By the way, it's really trash.
What's
Like,
trash?
Hellsing is really trash.
Yeah, I
It's like
Hell's. Oh, I haven't even. I've only seen a few of the original Hellsing. It's Hellsing Ultimate. I've seen all of, but it held my interest long enough, and then it just like collapsed on itself.
let's just say it's a product of its time. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's a good way to.
I've seen Full Metal Alchemist. I don't like it. I've seen a few episodes of Death Note. I didn't really like it. Salty Roy held my interest long enough, but even I couldn't finish that. I made it like two.
I can probably recommend some stuff I think you would like, actually.
I think you recommended something a while ago. I think it was called Monster or something.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Monster is.
I still have that in
Although
my
you
mind.
Could read it. You could read it instead. I think it depends on what kind of media you prefer, but I think like the manga is actually also really good if you prefer reading.
I just need to find time. Like, I barely have time to watch things.
When I started watching anime when I was a lot younger, I used to be addicted and watch almost anything that would come out over the next few years. But nowadays, during new seasons, maybe I follow one, maybe two shows, and that's usually about it. But there are actually a lot of very good shows that are receiving new seasons in the upcoming seasons. I don't know if you're familiar with ReZero. Like, I think ReZero is actually the sequels of ReZero. Later seasons are actually better than the first season, and the first season was really good. So that's saying something.
You've not read the light novel, right?
I have the light novels. So
yeah, because
but
it gets a lot better.
The other day,
it's
I actually heard from someone. They actually recommended an anime to me. I guess I'll ask your opinion if you've seen it. I think it was called Chivalry of a Failed Knight or something.
I need the Japanese title.
I don't know. So
Same.
my friend was recommending it to me the other day, and he said it's only one season. It was canceled. I'm like, well, then I'm not gonna see the ending. But
What was the English title?
Oh yeah.
Chivalry.
I think it's-
Oh yeah. You shouldn't watch that. Don't watch
okay,
that.
I won't like it. All right, I knew I shouldn't have trusted.
Oh my god. Oh,
You're
it's
not gonna-
Rakudai. Yeah. Okay.
You're not gonna like it. You're not
It's-
gonna like it.
All
The
right.
battle scenes. No.
I mean, I had a feeling I wouldn't like it just from looking at images of it. I'm like, no. It's like a it looks like a high school thing, and no.
It's okay. It's a normie show.
It's a norm. All right.
But
I had a
So
feeling
you
I would
wouldn't
not
like
like it. Just a friend recommended it to me the other day, and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like this show.
it's not well. Diok said you shouldn't watch. It's not that bad for one of these types of shows.
No. Here's the thing, though. I'm saying like it's junk food, dude.
Technically, it is. Okay. One thing, just because I know you said what you don't like, you wouldn't like this show because the female character that is romantically involved with the protagonist is exactly the thing that you described you despised.
All right,
Yeah.
cool, perfect.
Okay, I remember the very first scene is he approaches her. I think he catches her in a room somewhere. I vaguely remember, and then she gets angry.
Yeah, I already don't
because-
like it. I already know what. Yep.
She gets angry because he catches her off guard. I don't remember exactly what happens. But I just remember that she got angry because she got him off guard. But that's the thing. That is one of those tropes that is so overdone.
Is that just how Japanese women are in Japan? Like you just you meet a Japanese woman on the street. Oh, get away from me, you fucker!
Well, that might be one of the reasons why they're dropping in population. But
No.
no, but there are other
like,
reasons for that actually.
The thing is, I always said that
Yeah.
like there's such a big gap between like anime, most anime. There are so many different ones where people are depicted more realistically. But like if you go to Japan ever expecting like it's gonna be anything like most anime you've seen, you're probably delusional because it's like Japanese people are incredibly shy and withdrawn.
Yeah, they are.
So
I mean, you would know
friendly,
actually
though.
know. I've researched quite a bit of this stuff, but I know that you are more aware of what actual Japanese culture is like. So and what you see in the animes is obviously not what the people there are actually like.
obviously not. It's a huge. But again,
Definitely not what Miyazaki is like.
There is anime out there that depicts people in a pretty realistic way, but I'm talking about like most mainstream anime. People aren't like that actually. It's just I don't know. Japanese humor and media, I guess, it's a very idealized sort of way of like how you see people. I guess it's hard for me to articulate what I mean, but yeah, no.
Japanese humor does not translate well for me.
No, it's
No.
very bizarre. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't feel you can. I don't. It's an acquired taste.
That's acquired.
Like
Japanese humor
yeah.
seems to be a lot around outrage and stuff. Shouting things.
Well, then
or
they must think
repeating things.
America's a joke. America's like nothing but outrage.
No, but their humor is usually portrayed with, speaking in a louder voice or something, or repeating something. It's difficult to explain. There's a lot more nuance to it, of course, than I'm saying right now. There's a lot more.
The Japanese,
A
I guess,
broader
should just stick to
spectrum, but-
drama. They're better at it.
The thing is,
But yeah.
it's so even if you're familiar with the language, you still don't understand sometimes. It's very there's a lot of cultural context there that you need to to fully understand a lot of the jokes. And then, again, as someone pointed out in the chat, it's a lot of puns.
Oh God.
There's a lot of puns.
Yeah, I noticed. Like everyone's name in Zelda's a pun.
The thing is, due to how the language is structured, it's very easy to make puns. Because you can write something. You can say something that has two different meanings depending on how you write it, right? So you can get funny in that way because it can cause confusion what you really mean.
That actually sounds cool.
Yeah, like when you say it, it's very easy to get it confused. But when you read it, it's like, oh, I know what you mean because they use the proper kanji, right? So a lot of the puns are is about that, and it's not as funny. Like if you don't know what they're talking about, and so sure, someone can explain it to you, but if someone explains a joke to you, it's not funny.
Yep.
Right?
No,
And,
that's not how it works.
And you see this on a lot of subtitled anime. There's like have a note on the top, it's like for translators note or whatever, and they like explain why the misunderstanding or why it's funny, and it's like the joke is not funny enough.
But now it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, it's like no.
Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Neff. If you want some actual good recommendations, I can that one movie is something you should probably watch.
I mean, just based on the description, like this short description, there's a dragon in paradise. I probably will get something out of it, even if there's things about it I don't like. Just from that alone, that tells me that whoever made it on some level knows what's going on.
Well,
that movie, I like that movie.
The dragon itself doesn't play that big of a role.
No,
that's fine. It's just the symbol there, and it's in the right. Well, actually, the symbol's in the wrong place. That's the point. But
there is some symbolism with the dragons later, though. But I won't spoil it for you. But
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, anyway.
Just don't be surprised if I message you after watching it for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is garbage. I'm never trusting your opinion on anime again.
if you dislike this movie, you're officially just a culture barbarian.
A culture barbarian.
I'm not gonna. I don't even know if I want to work on Haru Conquest anymore. If you don't.
Hey, I love other Japanese stuff, so I'm not a culture barbarian. I'm highly selective cultural barbarian. But
it's a lot of good movies, but no one talks about that because weebs aren't interested in action movies usually.
Have you Deox, have you seen what's it called again? I just had it on my. Yeah, have you watched Yojo Senki? Have you seen that one?
Which one was that?
It's the one with the girl who it's this salaryman who turns into a little girl, and then
yeah.
With World War II.
Yeah. Of course.
It's so good. It's so good.
I should probably go look at the chat.
I do like that. I did, but that's pretty old now, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, they made a movie. They made a sequel movie for it.
I don't think I've seen the sequel. I saw the show when it came out, when it was airing. Though I don't remember that much about it. It was like a fever dream. The thing is, I've seen so much. I'm in kind of near.
Yeah.
I've seen so much. Everything kind of blends into my head.
I've seen so many shows. It's.
I don't do that anymore. I don't do it. I just don't have time and energy. But I used to watch like pretty much every season of show, or at least a few episodes of each. And it's just it's just too much.
I hate to cut everything off,
No.
but I'm thinking of maybe wrapping up in like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like kind of stricken with a bit of dizziness.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know if there's anything you want to wrap up with, or if there's any last minute questions on the chat. I'll try and answer it, but I'm probably going to end the stream in like 5 to 10 minutes. And we've been going almost 3 hours anyway. That's usually my cutoff point. Is I think we've gone for 2 hours and 40 something minutes, so that's pretty good.
I mean, might be a stream not in too long, I guess. That's a, yeah.
We spent like the last 45 minutes talking about anime, which is something I never would have expected. I'm so like out of the loop of anime and have so little interest in anime that I think it's funny I managed to talk about it for like almost an hour.
Well, before we leave, I'm going to be really enjoying Yuru Camp, I think, as well.
Oh,
I don't know if you
my
don't know
God.
one.
You're one of those.
I actually love the outdoors, even though I'm a programmer. So I don't know. I watched
You're one of those people.
Who Loves Camping. Yeah.
No, Eurocamp specifically. I know your breed. I've seen you before.
Oh please,
Stalking.
no! I'm not. I don't go around. I don't go around weeb stores yelling "ah yeah yeah" with a t-shirt.
Exo told me that story the other day.
Yeah, he
introduced me to Aya Ya. Again, another reason I hate anime.
Like, this is one of those. Yeah.
Did I tell you he came by the store and sang the fucking
What?
song?
Okay. Give me a little essay on your second, like off stream, of course.
Yeah, wait till we're
Yeah.
off stream, I guess.
Yeah, I will do it. I'll tell you the story.
It's just we're going down this road again. All of the people.
Someone's asking if I've seen Age of Calamity yet. Anything you want to incorporate from there? I've seen parts of Age of Calamity. I haven't played the game and I never will, but I watched some of the scenes from it and I couldn't get through watching it. It just, no. It's just dumb. As far as things to incorporate from it, I can't think of anything off the top of my head I want to incorporate from it.
I mean, the generals have pretty cool armor. I mean, that's, yeah.
I guess.
The captain.
I think the Rito Captain had those like feathers on that kind of Mesoamerican feather thing on his head. I think I don't remember exactly, but I think I know. Maybe the designs for the Rito Captains. I don't know. I was waiting to see what Yiga stuff that game would introduce. It turns out nothing really. Just one Yiga guy, and I think that's it.
And a few buildings.
And we'll probably never hear from the Yiga again, which I think earlier I was saying that's why I think the Yiga are just going to be a minor faction because they did crap with them. And
how many factions have you demoted at this point?
I demoted Aghanim. I demoted the Volvagians, which might actually get folded into the Lizzlefoss. I haven't decided yet. I demoted the Wizrobe.
Not the Guardians, right?
No, but Malice and the Guardians might get merged together, which I don't know.
I want to see Onamosen.
Yeah, I was actually Deox and I were actually talking about the Guardians on the stream earlier, and I was mentioning that was the faction you were looking forward to most. Was the Guardians? I think you were asleep at that time though.
I remember saying when I saw Onamosen, I remember telling you that it's basically Thaddeus from Warcraft.
Yeah.
For the people who know.
To me, he's the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, I guess.
It's this construct made up of the souls of men, women, and children, pretty much. It's pretty grim.
It's the Tower of Babel.
Well, that's the thing that's probably one of the only things that ever really creeped me out in Warcraft, because when you go into that raid dungeon, what's called Naxxramas, if you had your sound on, sometimes when Thaddeus was still alive, you could actually hear female voices like yelling to save them, and it was really it wasn't poorly done either. If you properly listened to it, it really felt like a trapped soul was trying to escape, and it actually gave me goosebumps. But that's kind of what Onamosen is. Because when you slice Onamosen open, right, you can see the souls trying to escape, right? That's the thing behind it. Yeah, it's the same thing. Anyway, that's a bit of a grim.
No, I
thing to
was
end
thinking
on.
about. For me, my opinion for Hyrule Conquest and Age of Calamity and future games is that there has to be a cutoff point at some point,
Yeah,
or it's just gonna. And I think the cutoff point should be now. Just disregard anything else. Work with what there is to work with now, and
but the
make it.
Zonai in Breath of the
Well,
Wild 2. I'm just kidding.
yeah, the Sonai were the friends we made along the way that died.
Zonai are the Tweely, everyone.
No,
No.
they're not the Twilly.
When are we going to see Tweely?
Oh, I would love to work on the Tweely right now. They're like my favorite, but we'll probably see them. Oh, that was actually, I can't find the question, but I do remember earlier someone was asking a question. Like who do they think I'll work on after the Sheikah and the Stalfos? Maybe the Tweely. Honestly, I might break my order and go out of order. I'll see how I feel when I finish the Sheikah and the Stalfos. I might go out of order after that. Because the reason I had the order in the first place is because when I was making the game for Total War, it was like subdivided into different sections, and I'd kind of like pair off the factions with each other and stuff. But now I can just have them all at the same time, so I might just do the order I feel like doing after I finish the Sheikah and the Stalfos. So maybe I'll even do the Guardians after them. I don't know. Maybe the Tweely.
What is the
Work on the stuff you want to work on.
Yeah.
what is the current roadmap? In regard, well, in terms of factions, I mean, obviously there's a lot of other stuff we need to do, but
The Sheikah, the Stalfos, the River Zora, the Wizrobe were somewhere around there, and then I demoted them. And then Akala, the Oka, and then a lot of the Great Sea stuff was next, and then the Terminus stuff, and then the Tweely was... Actually, the Terminus stuff was after the Tweely.
okay, but so how many factions? Okay, so that's
I
1,
think
2, 3,
there
4,
was like
5.
there was like 50 factions originally, and now there's like 35, I think.
Okay, so there's 5 factions left for the first complete version, or well, yeah,
I
before Great Sea.
honestly, I mean, we can talk about it with Ascaris and Odysseus, but I think after we finish the Sheikah and the Stalfos, that should be our cutoff point for version 1.0.
Would you consider though that pre-Great Sea complete in terms of factions?
Maybe.
Because I mean,
Uh,
how big of a role do the Rivazora and the Akala really play?
I mean, Akala is integral to the entire history, and the River Zora do have a lot to do with things. So yeah, maybe after the River Zora then. Um, maybe I'll just
Well,
I'll
that's
just do
5.
the River Zora after the Sheik and the Stalfos, and then we can make that 1.0.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, we're gonna release things in between version 1. Maybe we just want to call them patches, I
Yeah.
suppose, rather than version 1, because version 1 should be when we are, at least faction-wise, we're done with pre-Great Sea, right?
Yeah.
So
Someone's asking, will Tarako be a guardian hero? I mean, the thing can time travel and like overwrite history, so if it was, it probably would be like super retconned. I should just point out the fact that a 5-year-old girl built a sentient time traveling robot and her parents thought it was stupid. Quality Zelda content. I don't know. I could maybe see the design of Tarako being like their workers, maybe, but I don't think there'll be a time traveling sentient BB-8 ripoff like in Nephi canon. Where on the agenda is the Labyrinth? Oh, go on. Sorry.
I think actually that's a good idea. Use the design for the working unit or something.
Yeah, maybe. I was originally going to use the ancient machines from Skyward Sword as their worker design, but I don't know. Maybe that could be I don't know. See, what about Astor? I mean, he's such a blank slate. I guess I could literally do anything I wanted with him and it would work. Because there's literally like no background other than he's a supposed fortune teller. Unless I missed something. Let's see, where on the agenda is the Labyrinth rework? Probably as soon as possible. I might even rework Labyrinth before I actually work on the Stalfos and the Sheikah. Sooner than later. I haven't really been motivated to go near Labyrinth. I've been trying to update all the hero models, and then Exo and Ascaris have been fixing bugs and stuff lately and working on the AI. Let's see, is Majora still a Drathulity or is he something more now? I mean, he kind of always was something a little bit more than the rest of them. I think the best thing or the most helpful thing I can say about Majora now is it's probably best to picture him as a foreign god. That might be the best way to see him at the moment until I'm ready to kind of give more details, I guess. Majora's like a foreign deity, I guess you could say. See, where is Vadi in the new Nephi canon? He's pretty much in the same place he was in. He's having fun with Vadi's having fun with Dark Nuts and Nephi canon.
Man, I guess he got a buff.
I actually considered putting him a little bit lower in the hierarchy. And then I put him back near the top again. Just because Vadi is kind of more of a human character than a lot of the other antagonists. He does become pretty monstrous, but I mean, I guess another way I could do it is, I mean, it's kind of already the case. There's a Minish, and then there's like the eyeball bat monster thing. I guess they are kind of two different things, sort of.
Yeah.
I almost feel like at that point they should have different names, but I don't know. Can we learn more about Majora? I don't know. I just kind of said all I'm gonna say about Majora. He's probably a foreign god, or that's what I could say about him at the moment. Let's see, Astor is Aghanim's apprentice. He basically fits the same role as Aghanim. In the new game, he's like, well, not 100%, but he's like that kind of like character who supposedly has advice that actually has no one's best interest in mind, not even his own. Suddenly, yeah, there's a lot of questions coming in. Probably not going to answer all of them though, because I'm dying now. I'm like passing out. Just been going on for a long time. Let's see, what about the Trilith, the race at the goal? The Trilith was always kind of like a placeholder name, and I kind of scrapped that idea. The Akalans are the earliest peoples that are connected to the Hylians on record. The Akalans migrated from over the seas. I think Deox and I went off about that for a while earlier, for like a half hour.
Yeah.
See, how do the oracles relate to the goddesses? That changed several times, even in the old Nephi canon. I guess I haven't thought about it since I decided to redo things. I don't know, maybe we should think about what the hell to do with the oracles sometime in the future.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah. I didn't like what I had planned for them at all in the old Nephi canon. I was never happy with them at all. Other than like their loose connection to everything going astray, I guess.
I have a few ideas, but we can talk about it later.
Yeah, maybe another day. I'm probably just gonna get off completely after the stream's done. And eat something and maybe play a game. Actually, no, I'm gonna get Raru and I'm gonna render him after. I still need to rename all of his. Anyway, that's me babbling. I'm starting to babble now because I'm tired. I'm just like babbling nonsense now.
Nef needs to give me those faces for the AI
All
dialogue.
right, I'll answer one more question that catches my interest, and then I'll probably call it a night. So let's see, one more question. I'll wait a minute and see if there's one more question that catches my interest. Now I'm just repeating myself. People pointed out to me when I'm kind of delirious, I'll just like repeat something I immediately said like a few seconds ago. Okay, I guess I'll answer this question, even though it's not like a super juicy question, but I guess it's an important question. How accurate is the lore stuff on the Hyrule Conquest wiki? Because it hasn't really been updated in months. At the moment, from my understanding, it's all the old lore of the old Nephi canon, so it's considered out of date.
The entire thing needs to be redone, honestly. Pretty much.
Not everything will be changed from the old Nephi canon, but there's quite a few things that I've decided to just change.
Like there's enough changes that most pages needs to be rewritten.
Yeah.
In some way.
I personally I would love to just like put stuff on the wiki all day, but I personally don't have time to do it, so I probably won't touch it until I'm done with the game, and I'll probably die of old age before I finish everything. Maybe I won't. I don't know, Deox. You've always said you think I'll actually finish it in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a lot more optimistic. Where I'm like, there's so many things I'm trying to do. I'm just gonna keep adding shit till the day I die.
The thing is, I don't think there'll ever be a moment where you put down everything and you're like, now I'm done. Now I can move on. I just think that most of your ambitions
will actually be realized.
Yeah, but like I don't think you're ever gonna put it down and be like, yeah, I'm done.
Okay, well,
no more updates.
No, I suspect I won't even be able to fully realize my ambitions before. I think there's just too many things I'm trying to do. On the bright side, there's always going to be things added to the game, so you're always going to be getting new shit. I guess that's how most games are nowadays. Like Stellaris, like just keeps adding shit. Crusader Kings just keeps adding stuff. Like they just keep adding things to games like continuously now. It just seems to be the normal now. I don't have a problem with that. I've often said I'd rather things just keep getting added to games I like than them to just like spam endless sequels to things like forever.
And then you lose stuff that you liked in the previous title, and
yeah. Unless I guess it's kind of like, no, I was gonna say if it's a story-based thing, but you technically could just have the same game in the same engine and just like make a new story in that game. Like expansion packs have done that all since the 90s. But anyway, I'll answer one more question. I see one I'll kind of answer. When will Link be king? Well, I guess when he marries a queen, then he'll be king. I think that's the last question I'll answer for tonight. I guess I will put a link to the Discord in the chat before I head off for the night. Let me just get the link. Make sure it's the public Discord and not accidentally in the new one. Alright, here is a link to the Discord, everyone. So go ahead and hop in there. I post stuff there and whatnot. But I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. We had one boomer hiccup.
Better than our previous track record.
Yeah. I was hoping it'd be as good as the last one though, where we made it the whole like 2 hours with not a single hiccup. But yeah, we only had one cut off, which is pretty good. I mean, there's been times when like it's shut itself off like 10 times, like after only 10 minutes. Those would piss me off so much. Anyway, I'm ending the stream now, so maybe Deox and I will be back in another week or two. We'll see.